Today we are talking about the proxy design pattern. The proxy pattern provides a placeholder for another object in order to control access to it. Instead of interacting directly with the real object, we interact with the proxy that wraps it. Importantly, the proxy implements the same interface as the real object. So, from the client's perspective, nothing changes. The core idea is simple. The proxy sits between the client and the real object. It intercepts method calls, optionally performs some additional logic, and then delegates the call to the real object. That additional logic could be anything: validation, logging, caching, lazy loading, or access control. There are many real-world use cases for proxies. For example, lazy loading when an object is expensive to create. Access control when we need to check permissions before executing the request. Logging when we want to monitor method calls. Caching when we want to reuse previously computed results. Or even remote proxies in distributed systems. Today we will focus on access control. Let's look at the UML structure. The client depends only on the obstruction. During execution, the client calls the proxy, and the proxy decides whether the request should proceed. We define a subject interface. This is the common contract. Then we have the real subject, the object that performs the actual work. The proxy also implements the same subject interface and holds a reference to the real subject. Let's imagine we have a sensitive service, for example, a document management system. Only administrators are allowed to delete documents. We don't want clients to call the deletion logic directly, so we introduce a proxy that checks permissions before delegating the call. This is called a protection proxy. First, we define a common interface. This is the abstraction that both the real service and the proxy will implement. This class performs the actual deletion. No access control logic here, just pure business logic. The proxy also conforms to the same interface. It holds a reference to the real service. Before delegating the call, it checks the user's role. If the user is not an admin, the request is blocked. Otherwise, it forwards the call to the real service. From the client's perspective, it's still just calling delete document. The client doesn't know whether it's interacting with a proxy or the real object. The access control logic is completely transparent. To summarize, the proxy pattern allows us to control access to an object without changing its interface. It's extremely flexible. This versatile pattern can be effectively utilized for tasks such as lazy loading, logging, caching, or access control. And perhaps most significantly of all, it ensures that your core business logic remains clean and organized by carefully separating out those cross-cutting concerns. This is the essence of what we call the proxy pattern.